You may find yourself in a scenario where you meet someone and don't know how to start a conversation with the person or how to keep it going. Although these things are meaningless theoretically, they are a big deal when they happen. Do you wish you could make conversation that people would admire? Stay till the end to learn how you can look like the man in the conversation. Number 1. Know what you want to talk about. One of the first things you should have in mind when you want to converse with someone is the purpose of the conversation. If possible, plan, prepare, and practice beforehand. You can write out some questions about the particular things you want the discussion to be directed to, so it will be easy for you to start. A conversation without direction is like driving a car without knowing your destination. How will you go with it? One of your purposes of conversing must be to win, and it isn't compulsory to be the conversation. You can win new ideas, businesses, or friends. Before you interact with someone, set your intention and do your research. It doesn't have to be anything complex. Just know why you're meeting someone. You may want to meet people at an event because you're looking for a new client. If you're with that kind of intention, your conversation shouldn't resemble that of someone trying to have a great time at the event. You must have a purpose that provides confidence and boosts your influence. Even as humans, we like someone with direction, not a directionless element. Number 2, put up with a smile. First impressions, they say, last longer. We usually make our first impression in the first few seconds of seeing someone. This sometimes happens even before you start talking. Although most people think this is impossible, it's surely possible. So, make sure that you approach the person with confident body language. Maintain good eye contact and smile toward them. Remember that you should be socially bold. In conversations, the bold ones bring up new topics without feeling awkward. Don't hesitate to start a further discussion because the more you practice being brave, the more you'll be bold. Number 3, be interested in the person you're talking to. How will it feel if someone converses with you and he's talking about subjects that you have no interest in? It'll probably look like the person is talking to himself, and you find yourself there. To be admired in a conversation, you must first be interested in the person you're talking to, which is the best conversation. You must show interest in the life and work of the other person. Ask them an open-ended question about something you notice about them, and you'll catch their interest, as most people love to talk about themselves. These questions are the type that requires answers more than just yes or no. Questions like, what do you think of this event? Instead of, do you like this event? These kinds of questions encourage people to talk, and they can be a lifesaver in stalling conversations. Please give them a sincere and positive compliment to their comment, and you're off to a good start. Good conversationalists always take a great interest in other people, and with this, they start a conversation and fuel it. Also, it'd help if you looked out for any experiences both of you have in common. The same interests can give you something to talk about for a long time, so your conversation will continue. This similar experience will also help you establish common ground and make for a more rewarding conversation. Number 4, practice active listening. Practice active listening to be a good conversationalist. Active listening is when the listener concentrates on the speaker as he speaks. This vital skill lets the other person know that you're interested in what he's saying. It's a sign of emotional intelligence, and you're more likely to remember the conversation repeatedly. You can improve your active listening by repeating what you've just heard back to the speaker, and by talking less and listening more. During your listening, try to ask questions. Follow-up questions related to the other guy's talk can help expand the conversation and make him feel that you're in charge. You can even ask them about something you didn't understand at all, and it'll serve as a way of gaining new knowledge and, again, proof that you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. When you're talking, be aware of who you're talking to. Avoid controversial or insensitive topics. It can be topics on religion, politics, or other issues. Number 5, use body language to increase your listener's interest. The conversation is now flowing. However, use body language to increase the other person's interest in the conversation. You may think only words are exchanged in a conversation, but that isn't the case. Conversations occur in other parts of our body beyond the vocal cords. The body language you use and the ability to read your partner's body language will have an enormous impact on how you carry on a conversation. It's a lot easier to convey the correct body language and read the signals of others if you know some common signs to look for. You can make use of the eyebrow raise. Across cultures, this act is used whenever we see something or hear something interesting. If you see someone doing it in a conversation, you'll know that you've said something interesting and have piqued their curiosity. That raised eyebrow is the physical indicator of the spark. If you do that in a conversation, the speaker will be more interested in continuing and you'll be valued. However, If you keep looking around, the person will see you're not interested in what he's saying, which will kill the conversation. Number 6, there should be reciprocity. There has to be reciprocity for a conversation you engage in and not end abruptly. For instance, you ask someone a question such as, "Which city are you from?" and he answered, "Florida." Then you keep quiet after that with no reciprocity, which isn't good. When you share something, you'll want someone else to share it back with you. This logic also works in conversation. When you ask a question, you'll want an answer, and that person to ask you. If that doesn't happen and the person keeps mute, it'll look like an interrogation instead of a conversation. Be sure you're not a moocher and give back as much as possible. Always ask people, "How about you?" after answering. These 3 little words are perfect for encouraging reciprocity. Meanwhile, a pause can be necessary. Sometimes giving the other person a formulated response will be fine, which may take time. If your conversation lulled, you could change the course of your discussion by bringing up new topics. Something like, "Oh, I just remembered this," and you move on to another subject. Try not to feel anxious. Even if you're not naturally gifted at maintaining conversation, as long as you remain interested and kind, the other person will probably leave with a positive impression and you'll look like a valued man. And finally, number 7, carry everyone along. When you're conversing with more than one person, try to include everyone seated. I'm sure you know how you feel if you're left out of a conversation. Maybe you were sitting at an occasion and those like you started chatting as if you weren't present. You'll feel so bad, honestly. No one likes to be left out, so you should mind that whenever you're in a conversation. It will make you the man at the center of the conversation. If you notice someone in the group has yet to contribute, ask them a direct question the next time there's a break in the conversation so that everyone will be included. And that's it. A good conversation produces a connection. So, for your business to grow and expand your friend circles and the likes, you need to be good at conversations. What are your plans for implementing these tips? Let's know your opinion in the comment box. Kindly subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to see more of our videos.